It's Sunday, July 26, 2026. You're listening to the DX Today AI Daily Brief. Today, NVIDIA's Jensen Huang turns his first ever social post into an open weights manifesto. Anthropic launches Claude Opus 5 at half the price of its flagship. And the largest open model in history prepares to land. Let's get into it.
NVIDIA Chief Executive Jensen Huang made his debut on the platform X this weekend, and he did it with a manifesto. His first post ever shared an open letter titled Open Weights in American AI Leadership, arguing that publicly released model weights are essential to safety, innovation, and national competitiveness. The letter launched with roughly 25 signatories, and within a single day, that count had doubled to about 50. Microsoft, Meta, Palantir, and Andreessen Horowitz signed early. By Saturday, even OpenAI and Google had added their names, while Amazon and Anthropic pointedly stayed away. The message to Washington was blunt: do not restrict open models. Huang's post cleared 11 million views as the signatures kept climbing.
From Washington to the labs.
Anthropic has raised the stakes with Claude Opus 5, released Friday, July 24th. The company says its new flagship approaches the frontier intelligence of its top-end Fable 5 model at roughly half the cost. Opus 5 carries a 1 million token context window and a new effort toggle, letting developers dial reasoning from low to extra high and pay frontier prices only when a task truly demands it. Standard pricing sits at $5 per million input tokens and $25 for output. It has already claimed the top of Artificial Analysis's Intelligence Index, and it is now the default model on Claude Max. The signal is clear. The race has shifted from raw benchmarks to intelligence per dollar.
Now a blockbuster deal.
Payments giant Stripe is in advanced talks to acquire the AI model marketplace OpenRouter for about $10 billion, according to a Wall Street Journal report circulating this weekend. OpenRouter lets more than 5 million developers tap hundreds of models, from OpenAI to Anthropic to open-source alternatives, through a single interface, switching providers without rebuilding their applications. What makes the number stunning is the timing. OpenRouter was valued at just $1.3 billion back in May. A $10 billion deal would be nearly 8 times that mark in a matter of months. Several other tech heavyweights reportedly circled the company too, a sign of how fiercely the industry now values control of AI infrastructure.
Across the Pacific.
Over in South Korea, Samsung SDS has signed a strategic partnership with Anthropic. The company's confirmed Saturday. Under the deal, inked at the San Francisco AI Summit, Samsung SDS will roll out Claude Enterprise to roughly 70,000 employees across some 20 Samsung affiliates. The two firms also plan to jointly develop applied AI services and train a new generation of engineers inside Korea. It is a notable win for Anthropic, extending Claude deep into one of the world's largest industrial conglomerates, and it lands just as Samsung courts multiple AI partners at once. For Samsung SDS, the bet is that agentic AI becomes the connective tissue of enterprise work, rather than a novelty bolted on the side.
Into your everyday apps.
xAI is pushing Grok straight into the tools people already use. On Thursday, the company launched a free Grok add-on for Google Workspace, planting its assistant inside Docs, Sheets, and Slides. A single install lets Grok write spreadsheet formulas with cited cells, build charts, turn rough outlines into editable presentations, and draft documents in place, with connectors reaching into Drive and email. The move comes just 1 week after xAI wired Grok into Microsoft's Office suite, meaning the assistant now spans both dominant productivity ecosystems. Analysts note the free price tag is aggressive and a little risky, as xAI trades near-term revenue for a foothold on hundreds of millions of desktops. The battle for the workday has clearly begun.
Follow the silicon.
The custom silicon boom rolls on. Etched, the startup building chips designed to run only transformer models, has closed a $300 million Series C, led by Sequoia, With Andreessen Horowitz, Jane Street, and SK Hynix joining, the round value's etched at $10.3 billion, roughly double its valuation from December. Its pitch is audacious. By hardwiring the transformer architecture directly into its Sohu chips and full inference racks, Etched claims it can undercut NVIDIA's general-purpose graphics processors on both cost and power. It is a direct bet that the industry has standardized enough on one architecture to make specialized hardware worth the risk. Investors, clearly, are willing to fund that wager at 11 figures.
From chips to campuses.
OpenAI is going vertical on infrastructure. The company has disclosed Project Camellia, a sprawling data center campus in Effingham County, Georgia, and the first facility OpenAI will design and build entirely itself. At full scale, the site could cost more than $30 billion and draw 3.2 gigawatts of power, contracted from Georgia Power, with capacity phased in between 2028 and 2032. To soften local opposition, OpenAI has pledged $80 million in community investment and up to $71 million in Codex credits for Georgia students. It is a striking statement of ambition and of independence as OpenAI moves to own its compute rather than rent it from cloud partners. The build-out will reshape a rural county.
Now, a record breaker.
And the largest open model in history is about to land. China's Moonshot AI has confirmed it will release the full weights of Kimi K3 tomorrow, Monday, July 27th. The numbers are staggering. 2.8 trillion total parameters, a sparse mixture of experts' design that fires only about 50 billion parameters per token, and a download weighing roughly 1.4 terabytes. That is some 75% larger than the previous biggest open release. For developers, it means a genuinely frontier-grade model they can inspect, modify, and self-host. No API required. The catch is scale. Very few outside a well-equipped data center can actually run it. Still, the symbolism is loud. The open frontier is now Chinese.
Onward to Europe.
Germany's Black Forest Labs has unveiled Flux 3, and it is not just an image generator anymore. From a single network, Flux 3 produces images plus video clips up to 20 seconds long, with native audio baked in rather than stitched on afterward. A companion variant, Flux 3 Action, goes further, predicting robotic manipulation, and it is already being tested by Audi through a partnership with Mimic Robotics. For now, the release is limited, with broader API access and open weights promised later this year. The through line is convergence. The same lab known for crisp still images is now reaching into video, audio, and the physical movements of robots, all from one model. The boundary between generating pixels and directing machines keeps thinning.
Chips and diplomacy.
Executive Chairman Lee Jae-yong met OpenAI Chief Executive Sam Altman on Friday at OpenAI's San Francisco headquarters. Neither side detailed the agenda, but industry watchers believe the conversation centered on the plumbing of the AI boom, high-bandwidth memory, advanced DRAM, and the cutting-edge foundry manufacturing that OpenAI's ambitions increasingly depend on. Samsung is one of only a handful of firms on Earth that can supply those components at scale, and OpenAI's appetite for compute is only growing. The meeting underscores a quiet truth of this era. The frontier is not just built on algorithms, but on memory chips and fabrication lines, and the companies that control them hold real leverage.
A very different bet.
Travis Kalanick is back with something far heavier than ride-hailing. Atoms, the holding company the former Uber founder built atop cloud kitchens, and the automation firm Pronto, has closed a $1.7 billion round led by Andreessen Horowitz, with Ben Horowitz taking a board seat. Uber and Bain Capital also joined. Atoms now spans food, mining, and transport divisions, all united by a single thesis: bring sensors, robotics, and AI to the heavy industry that software largely skipped. It is one of the largest bets yet on physical AI, The idea that the next $1 trillion of value comes not from chatbots, but from machines that move dirt, sort materials, and haul freight. Kalanick is wagering the real world is the frontier.
One last partnership.
Finally, the data platform Databricks and Microsoft have expanded their long-running partnership, extending it into the 2030s. The focus this time is context. The two companies want to let enterprises feed their own business data, the definitions, metrics, and relationships unique to each firm, directly into AI systems, so that agents reason with a company's real world rather than generic training data. It is an unglamorous problem, but arguably the one standing between flashy demos and dependable enterprise deployment. Analysts read the deal as a signal of where enterprise AI is heading next, away from raw model horsepower and toward grounding, governance, and trust. Whoever owns the context layer, both firms are betting, owns the enterprise. That is the whole game now.
That's your briefing for Sunday, July 26, 2026. For DX Today, stay curious.